few days later, Pyrrha's defeat was hard to swallow from her the fans present during class and rumors of this new juggernaut spread. Lilith was just enjoying the culture of humans compared to the decadent and increasingly boring same old thing in the Drukhari is indulging in. Her favorite thing was cheese. She just wanders around Vale taking some jobs and simply living a life. She plans on visiting Jaune sometime. Jaune, on the other hand, is preoccupied with a minor irritant as Cardan was acting like the typical shithead that he is, and decided to add Jaune to his list of targets. It all started when Cardan tried to hurt the abhuman named Velvet. Jaune had his tray and tapped Cardan over the shoulder. "Jaune, kindly leave the girl alone." "Cardan, or what?" "Jaune, or I will be forced to take action." Cardan tried to flip his tray as he spun and avoid it as Cardan trips up as he tries multiple times to smack his food off his hand, and Jaune just dodged without issue, keeping the contents on his tray. Then his goon squad jumped Jaune, who continues to dodge until one lucky throw from Dove hits the tray, spilling the contents as Jaune looks down and sighs. "Russell, go hungry, you pleb." Jaune just picked up a broken baguette and a plate of spaghett. "Jaune, waste not what not." He then rushed Cardan and shoved the baguette in his mouth, catching him by surprise as he tries to get it out. Dove tried to assault him, but retribution was on its way as Jaune slides the plate of spaghett in the floor into his foot when he landed, and he slipped feet first, and he slides across the room, making a loud and long squeaky noise. Russell acted as reinforcement as Jaune stepped on his tray, and it flipped into the air and into his hands, and he launched it like a frisbee into Russell's face, knocking him down feet up. Sky was the last one left who had his fists out as Jaune stood before him staring impassively for a few seconds, and he then said boo as Sky fainted on the floor. Velvet was just staring stupid at the scene as Jaune walks past her as he pats her head. Now back to his friends. "Young. Damn big boy, I would have jumped in when those idiots tried jumping you. But you didn't need no help." "Weiss. Was the act of violence necessary?" "Blake. Who attack her first, Weiss." "Weiss. Blake, right. He was defending himself, so he's in the right here." "Ruby. Man, I never thought of food being used as weapons." Oh, future shenanigans detected." "Nora. Man, I just wished you braked his legs." "Run. It didn't need to get that violent." "Pyrrha. I thought you were a more reasonable man." "Jaune. If the situation calls for it, Pyrrha, I might be a blacksmith, but that doesn't mean I won't take a more physical approach." "Pyrrha. Okay, just be careful not to hurt yourself." "Jaune. Pyrrha, you saw me use Milo on myself, and all I got is a paper cut." "Ruby, what?" "But that's a high-grade weapon." "Pyrrha. I seen it myself, Ruby. It didn't even leave too much a mark on him." "Weiss. Maybe he didn't do a good job fixing it." "Pyrrha. Milo has never been sharper than when Jaune fixed it. Weiss, what you said is basically slander on his profession." "Jaune. Weiss, give me your steak knife." She gave it to him, and he passes it around. "Jaune. See if it's sharp." The rest touched it and said it is indeed sharp. Ruby pricks her finger as Yang just gave her handkerchief. "Ruby, it's sharp." She gives it to Jaune as he show them his hand. "Jaune, no aura." As he slams his hand on the table and no aura shield was seen. He then stabs it hard with the knife, OLY, for it to shatter and break. "Jaune, as I said, my skin is stronger than steel, Weiss, and if Milo can give me a cut, that means I did a good job." "Weiss, how? But..." "Jaune, let's just say I was born for to fight." "Pyrrha. Is that why you have night vision? Because that would be handy in a fight in the dark." "Blake, you're a faunus?" "Jaune. No, just one of those so-called advanced humans those alien conspiracy nuts says on the net." "Weiss. You can't be serious." "Jaune. Well, not exactly, but I'm not completely human either." The bell rang, and they went back to class. History class. Cardan was still sore from the humility he and his friends went through. after Carden caused a ruckus and argued with Jaune, who politely fired back. Oblique. Alright, you two sit together in one row so you can get along. The two stood and went to two free seats. Carden sat first and tried to leave tacks on Jaune's sit. But Jaune did something better. He slammed his iron-hard buttocks that not only crushed the tacks but flipped the bench side on Carden's and sent him flying into the ceiling as he had his head stuck up there. Oblique. I think we should call maintenance. Mr. Ark, how heavy are you? Jaune. 180 kilograms. I've seen in a forum that a typical Astartes, while a fully armored one would weigh 1,000 kilograms, meaning that an unarmored one weigh around 180 kilograms, since they said the armor weighs 820 kilos. Oblique just gawked. Oblique, please eat a salad. Jaune, I ate the balanced diet. All of this is just genetics. Later, after Carden was pried out of the ceiling, combat class. Kira owned Dove in their mock battle. Glinda. Alright, the next match will against Mr. Ark versus Mr. Winchester. May the two combatants come to the arena. The two then walks out of their respective sides of the arena. Carden, real comfy in that giant suit of safety, aren't you? Jaune, to be honest, you have the right idea of protection compared to everyone I know, who seems to be more fixated on fashion and showing off. Young, hey. Weiss just huffed. Blake didn't dismiss it. Ruby just clutched her hood. Kira felt hurt since he said everyone he met, and that includes her. Nora didn't catch the call out, and Rin thought about adding some protective parts. Glinda. Alright, quiet all of you, let's begin. And fight. Carden charged in and bashed and sung at the armor as Jaune just stood there and took it. He kept swinging until he leans on his mace tired. Carden, huff huff wheeze, come on, fight back. Jaune then shrugged and pulled out another weapon he forged during the last mornings he spent in the forge. Although lacking a power source since Remnant is garbage, when it comes to tech he simply made a hammer. He then swung at Carden, sent him flying with so much force, he went out the window. As he crashed outside, the aura meter went 0. We hear some commentary from beyond. Oh my emperor, and there goes Jaune with a complete disregard for orc life. Belinda's glasses slides down her face as many in the class were now afraid to face the space marine in combat.